Deep within Russia's Chuvash Republic, the city of Cheboksary hosts the BNIR Progress factory, a critical manufacturing hub Russia uses to produce essential electronic components for unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, and other military equipment. Hundreds of miles away in Voronezh Oblast, a military airbase houses a stockpile of powerful glide bombs and some of Russia's most advanced fighter jets. Both sites are now engulfed in flames, targeted by a devastating double strike from Ukraine, aimed at President Vladimir Putin's war machine. The military airbase and the strategic production facility are burning fiercely. Ukraine has unleashed a bold offensive against Russia, and Putin's invasion will face long-term consequences. First, let's focus on the BNIR Progress factory. On July 5, sources from Militanji reported that Ukraine launched multiple drone strikes in the Chuvash Republic with a clear target in mind. The BNIR Progress factory in Cheboksary produces a range of electronic components, including the critical Cometa antennas Russia integrates into various drones. Part of the ABS electro-conglomerate, the facility manufactures antennas and receivers for global navigation satellite systems, supporting Russia's GLONASS, Europe's Galileo, and notably the Cometa antenna, which we'll analyze in detail later. These Cometa antennas are used in Russia's Shahed drones, as well as advanced guidance systems for glide bombs and Iskander-M ballistic missiles. The Cometa antenna shields these weapons from Ukraine's electronic jamming efforts. Without them, Russia's airstrikes would lose significant effectiveness. Moreover, Militanji reported that the targeted factory also produces circuit switches, contactless modules, and relays for the Russian Navy, particularly for Yasin-M-class nuclear submarines. Putin's global patrol fleets rely on these components, suggesting Ukraine may have dealt a severe blow to Russia's naval capabilities. The BNIR Progress factory integrates microelectronics, applied informatics, and hardware-software solutions for the naval industry. Losing this facility is a major setback for Putin's regime, and Russia cannot downplay the impact. Footage shared on the Telegram channel Astra showed authorities in Cheboksary sealing off the BNIR Progress factory for damage control. According to Astra, after the drone strikes in Cheboksary, police blocked access to the open joint stock company BNIR Progress, as eyewitness videos confirmed. The company produces Cometa antennas for Russia's military, protecting drones from Ukraine's electronic warfare systems. Operations were halted after the June 9 attack, a significant detail. July 5 wasn't the first time Ukraine targeted BNIR Progress. A month earlier, they struck hard, damaging key production workshops and halting operations. Russia claimed the initial attack was ineffective. Oleg Nikolaev, head of the Chuvash Republic, told reporters that Russian air defenses downed the drones in June and the factory fire was caused by debris. This is a familiar Russian excuse no one buys, as massive fires like those at BNIR Progress don't result from mere debris. In reality, Ukraine's drones hit the target directly. Astra reported on Telegram that on the morning of July 5, drones struck Cheboksary, the Chuvash Republic's capital. A fire erupted at the Budum water heating plant in Lopsarsky Proezd. It's unclear exactly what was burning, and local authorities haven't commented on the attack. The drones completed their mission, and BNIR Progress was consumed by flames. This was a devastating 1-2 punch to a critical Russian facility. In June, Ukraine forced the factory to halt operations with a drone strike on key workshops. On July 5, another strike may have obliterated BNIR Progress entirely. Ukraine's blows against Russia didn't stop at the 1-2 punch. Beyond the factory attack, Ukraine destroyed a key military airbase in Voronezh Oblast, over 745 miles from Cheboksary. According to Newsweek, on July 5, Ukrainian drones struck the Borisoglebsk airbase. Sources reported the base housed a large storage facility, serving as a depot for fighter jets, powerful glide bombs, and other military assets of Putin. Russia stores some of its most advanced fighters there, including Su-34, Su-35, and Su-30 SM aircraft. Voronezh residents reported Ukraine hit the airbase hard on July 5, causing about 10 explosions starting at 2 a.m. NASA's Fire Information for Resource Management System confirmed the strikes, reporting a large fire near the airbase, per Astra. Further details came from Cable News Network, which reported that Ukraine's general staff posted on Facebook to confirm the Borisoglebsk attack. The airbase housed training aircraft like Sukhoi fighters, glide bombs, and possibly other aircraft. The Kyiv Independent also covered the incident, confirming Ukraine targeted a storage facility at Borisoglebsk and other objectives. However, reports added that the attack may have destroyed at least one Russian training combat aircraft and a glide bomb storage facility. Russia offered limited comments, only mentioning drone interceptions without acknowledging the damage caused by the strikes. According to the Kyiv Independent, Russia's defense ministry claimed it intercepted 42 Ukrainian drones during a 3-hour operation targeting Belgorod, Kursk, and Bryansk oblasts. At least 2 drones were shot down near St. Petersburg, forcing Pulkovo Airport to close, per the ministry. Local governors reported 3 drones downed over Smolensk Oblast and others in Voronezh Oblast. Russia avoided commenting on the direct impact of Ukraine's drone strikes, a typical response. They focus on what they intercepted, claiming damage came from debris. The reality is starkly different. Both a strategic Russian factory and a critical military airbase are burning due to Ukrainian drones striking both targets directly in a devastating air assault that has Russia reeling. This attack matters for several reasons. First, consider the potential loss of Cometa antennas. In March, Forbes senior contributor David Hambling wrote about these antennas, emphasizing their critical role in the electronic warfare arms race between Russia and Ukraine since Putin's invasion began. We've mentioned their function. They're essential components in Russia's guidance systems for glide bombs, drones, and certain missiles. Hambling noted that Cometa is central to this arms race. He referenced Russia's Shahed drones and glide bombs, stating Russia launched 1,050 drones and 1,300 glide bombs at Ukraine in a single week last February. Both weapons rely on Russia's Cometa satellite navigation system, per Hambling. Ukraine has deployed jamming and spoofing devices to throw these weapons off target. Russia countered successfully by upgrading Cometa, increasing antenna elements from 4 to 8, then 12 and beyond to defeat jammers. This is a problem for Ukraine and explains why they targeted BNIR Progress. Hambling added that BNIR Progress is Russia's only facility capable of producing Cometa antennas, introduced in 2017 with unique anti-jamming signal filtering. Ukraine uses signals to disrupt the guidance systems of Russian air weapons targeting their cities and infrastructure. Hambling detailed how Cometa antennas, called Controlled Reception Pattern Antennas, CRPAs, use multiple elements to combine signals. This design enables amplification, but that's not their only capability. Amplification is the most obvious approach, combining 2 signals to boost them, but it can also cancel signals. By adjusting a signal's phase during combination, A controlled phased array antenna can selectively eliminate that signal from the output, effectively neutralizing it. This is the challenge Ukraine faces with Cometa-equipped weapons. In short, Cometa's signal filtering capability renders Ukraine's jamming efforts nearly useless. With multiple antenna elements, one element may be affected by Ukraine's jamming, but that's insufficient to divert a bomb or missile. Unaffected elements cancel out the jammed signal from the single antenna. Ukraine could counter by eliminating Cometa from the equation, rendering jamming ineffective. Naturally, the more antenna elements Cometa has, the less effective Ukraine's jammers become. When BNIR Progress introduced Cometa, it had 4 elements. Russia has since improved it. In April, United 24 reported Russia was equipping glide bombs with 12-element Cometa antennas, making them nearly immune to Ukraine's jamming. More elements mean greater resilience and better satellite positioning for Russia's air weapons. The logic of attacking BNIR Progress is clear. Destroying the antenna factory means crippling Russia's guidance capabilities for some of its deadliest weapons. Fewer missiles, drones, and glide bombs will hit their targets in Ukraine, easing pressure on the nation's defenses. Glide bombs were also a key target in Ukraine's other attack at Borisoglebsk airbase. If the BNIR strike aimed to destroy anti-jamming guidance systems for bombs, the Borisoglebsk attack sought to eliminate as many of these weapons as possible. Ukraine had to act. Russia has relentlessly targeted them with glide bombs for much of the war. These bombs became notorious in early 2024 when Russia began using them in large numbers, causing severe damage to Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. The British Broadcasting Corporation reported on them in May, providing background. Russia creates glide bombs by taking standard bombs and fitting them with special glide kits, guided by global navigation systems. This allows bombs to be dropped from behind the front lines before gliding to targets using foldable wings. These bombs are typically from the high-explosive FAB series, previously unguided and designed for direct drops from aircraft. Russia has thousands of FAB bombs, with the heaviest weighing about 33,000 pounds. A Russian 152mm artillery shell contains roughly 143 pounds of explosives. An FAB 1500 with a glide kit weighs over 1,300 pounds, equivalent to 93 times the explosive power of an artillery shell. Russia has hammered Ukraine with these fearsome weapons for over a year. In March 2024 alone, Russia dropped 3,000 glide bombs on Ukraine, according to President Volodymyr Zelensky. The situation has only worsened since. In January 2025, Reuters reported Russia dropped 51,000 glide bombs on Ukraine since Putin's invasion began. Assuming Russia started using these bombs early in the war, that's about 1,400 glide bombs per month. Reuters noted Russia launched 40,000 glide bombs in 2024, averaging roughly 3,300 attacks monthly. Regarding Zelensky's March 2024 report, on April 3, Ukraine's Crisis Communications Center stated Russia hadn't slowed its glide bomb attacks. On day 1,134 of the war, Zelensky said Russia hit Ukraine's Sumy region with 50 glide bombs in a single day. Sumy, a key area for Russia's summer campaign, is under intense glide bomb assault. Russia's strategy is to destroy Ukraine's defenses to enable ground forces to seize territory, a tactic they've succeeded with before. According to Radio Free Europe, by late April, many Ukrainian cities and villages were reduced to rubble after Russian airstrikes. Chasiv Yar, Toretsk, Bogdanovka, Bakhmut, Marinka, and others bear the scars of Russia's devastating raids. Ukraine's July 5 double strike significantly impacted Putin's glide bomb arsenal. They destroyed the Russian factory producing Cometa antennas for glide bombs and a storage depot for these weapons. Russia isn't out of glide bombs yet, but going forward, these bombs may be less accurate. In the short term, Russia can't deploy weapons from Borisoglebsk to frontline airbases. That's not all Ukraine achieved with the Borisoglebsk attack. The Kyiv Independent reported Ukraine may have destroyed at least one training aircraft at the airbase. This poses another problem for Putin, as Russia faces a shortage of experienced pilots, something the Kremlin avoids admitting. This helps Ukraine control the airspace, a persistent issue for Putin. In April 2023, Business Insider reported a study suggesting Russia's early struggles to gain air superiority in Ukraine, despite a large air force, stemmed from years of ineffective pilot training. A study from the UK's Royal United Services Institute noted that few Russian fixed-wing pilots were trained or experienced in low-altitude close air support in contested airspace. This was never part of their core training before the invasion. The report also highlighted that before Putin's war, Russia underinvested in sensors, weapons, and training programs that Western air forces prioritize. As a result, many Russian pilots were shot down in the invasion's early months. This explains why Putin relies heavily on glide bombs today. Slowing pilot training yields results similar to attacking Cometa antenna production and glide bomb depots. Ukraine reduced airstrikes on its cities through the July 5 double strike on Russia. This is part of Ukraine's strategy since 2024. In the second half of 2024 and into 2025, Ukraine has brought the war to Russian soil, weakening Russia's attack capabilities through long-range drone strikes. According to Global Express, the strategy has two goals: undermining Russia's long-term fighting capacity against Ukraine and tarnishing Russia's image as a military superpower. We've seen this pattern before. Ukraine's Operation Spiderweb is a prime example, eliminating several Russian bombers capable of carrying nuclear weapons used to launch bombs and missiles at Ukraine. These campaigns are part of Ukraine's broader strategy to degrade Russia's fighting ability, as seen on July 5. Destroying Cometa antennas, glide bombs, and training aircraft has reduced Russia's military capacity. Ukraine is bringing the war to Russia, limiting Russia's ability to escalate the conflict in Ukraine. The Council on Foreign Relations noted that Ukraine's long-range strikes also highlight the failure of Putin's military modernization efforts. Russia's military reflects its society: top-down control, discipline, and corruption. Ukraine is targeting Russia's factories and air bases. Hitting enough of these targets could be the path to victory against Putin's invasion. Meanwhile, Russia is running out of funds to sustain its military campaign. Russia's central bank is pleading with Putin to end the war, as the country's economy teeters on the brink of collapse.